Why is between my eyebrows so shiny? Somebody needs to comment down below their skincare routine because this is just getting out of hand. That's better. Hi guys, and welcome back to Shares Cool Beans. This video is going to be about my first term experience of my PGCE. Please like, comment and subscribe. Please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the year ends, so please make that possible. And please also like, because it helps the YouTube algorithm or whatever, and more people seeing this video. And of course we want to help more people, so please like this video. Merry Christmas again. If you haven't watched my previous video, well done to making it to the end of the first term. If you are already doing your PGCEs, SCITTs or whatever route you're taking, and future applicants, this will be you this time next year. It's crazy to think back to my first interview question video, which was about around exactly a year ago, to actually finishing the first term of my course. So yeah, hats off to all of us. Well done. So let's go over the overall experience. I do have a half-term experience that I filmed around October, so you can watch that, but I will go over everything again. So let's throw it back to September. September was the most craziest time ever, just getting to grips with everything. Even though I had been a teaching assistant at the school I am doing my training with, it was just on another level. It was just crazy to get to grips with everything and to be super organized, but I was eased into my training. Most people think that if you're doing a SCITT/school director, we're just going to be thrown straight in. That isn't the case. Obviously you are in the school from day one, but you will just be helping out in little bits. So maybe just taking little groups out to work on maths, handwriting, etc. And then it probably won't be until your second week that you just teach one 15-minute starter lesson. But at the same time, it's completely up to you. Say even in the first week, if you wanted to do a 15-minute intro, that would be absolutely fine if you just ask your mentor or class teacher. So yeah, September was a breeze, according in terms of time. It went super fast, getting to grips with everything, and the workload wasn't that much at that point. I wasn't really coming home doing loads or going to work doing loads at all. So that was really good. I was still being eased in. I'm trying to think what else happened in September. October time, I was still having 2 training sessions a week. So I'd be in for 3 days at the school I'm working with, and then on the Thursday and Friday I'd be going to the the school I do the training with, to have lectures and everything. And that balance was just so lovely to have, just to break up those first couple of months and to see the other trainees. Some of them I'm very, very good friends with now. They're just, all of them are amazing, but it was really nice to make a few really, really good friends there. So after half term, got super duper ill, and I had been ill up until last week, just taking antibiotics. Please take care of yourself, and please inform your mentors, training providers, universities, if you are seriously ill and you need to take a step back with your training. If you are school direct, which means you'd be an employee of the school, you may just still have to just follow the procedures. But if you're doing SCITT/PGCE, you can ask to take a step back from your training plan. I learned this a little too late, because I only informed my training provider that I was super duper ill towards the end of the year, and by that time there wasn't much they could do about it, because the year everyone was just packing up and stuff. We weren't really doing proper work for those last 2 weeks. But please let them know. I did let my school know, and the people who were supposed to be supporting me, but some of them weren't really, they just didn't really seem to care. It was just a case of, oh well, you know, everyone's sick, you know, it's just your body getting used to it. And it's like, no, because I've been a teaching assistant before and I'd been nowhere near as ill. It wasn't the Rona, but I was sick. So please take care of yourself. So each week with my training, my teaching time would increase a little bit, but it didn't state like, oh, teaching time goes up by 2 minutes. It would say something like, so for the following week, plan and teach 2 full lessons, observe a speech and language therapy session, observe maths, make up an intervention group doing blah 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 blah, be observed by your mentor in 1 lesson, etc. I'll try and like put what was actually stated for like one of the weeks I had. But yeah, it gradually increased. It wasn't just from the get-go, throw you in, there you go, you're teaching all day. It was really gradual, and that was nice. I'd say one of the things I'd struggled the most with was organization. Now, of course, I thought I was on top of my organization like in the first month, but that's because there wasn't really much going on. Even though I felt drained and tired of everything, that wasn't even it just yet. So I was like, oh, you know, the workload isn't that bad, blah 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 blah. Listen, when it got to after half term, I felt like I had been dragged through a bush, and I think most teacher trainees can agree, because obviously we had to start working on our first assignments, but at the same time you still have to keep up with the tasks and everything you're supposed to be following when you're actually training in the school. So there were times where one of the tasks I was given was to plan a full topic for the half term. So that was science. I had to plan science for my year group for the full half term. Now, in secondary school, I was terrible at science. I just about scraped a C. God knows how I did it, because I was just awful at science. I just could not wrap my head around it. And to be honest, it's sort of the same situation now. When I was planning science, I just found it so difficult. Even though we had things kind of set out, like the way the system works at our school with the curriculum and whatever, but I just found it so difficult, because if I don't understand it, how am I supposed to teach it? And say a child asked me a question that's sort of off topic, my subject knowledge wouldn't be great enough. So it was kind of hard having to plan a whole topic of science and kind of revise around it at the same time, and then have an assignment due, and then have observations and everything. It really does get on top of you. But on those days or those weeks, you really have to just talk to people who are really supportive. Those being the people, other teacher trainees, doing this course with me. They were absolutely great in supporting me, and like vice versa. We are really a tight-knit group, and I'm not gonna lie, if I didn't have them, I would have freaked out a lot more. They definitely say that, like, what do they say? Well, they definitely say that there will be tears on your PGCE course, and trust me, there were tears. I'm not much of a crier, but I cried around, I've cried around 2 or 3 times since beginning my PGCE, and that is because it is a massive change. Even though if you were previously working in education, it's completely different, and sometimes it's not really nice, because those who are at home with you, even though you can talk to them about what's going on, they don't truly understand it. The only people that would understand are the people at your school, and those people are usually busy, so you don't really want to hassle them with your problems, and the teacher trainees that are also on your course. So thank God I had them, because they've just been great, supporting me through everything. I've had multiple hiccups with just the support and everything. My mentor is not my class teacher, as many mentors are, so it's been I've kind of had a different experience, because my mentor isn't my class teacher, so it's been sort of different to me. I have kind of felt alone at times in terms of where to get support, because my mentor just being busy doing 100 billion other things, which other mentors do, but at least they're in a classroom with you, and I don't have that. So I've kind of just been figuring how to work with that alone. Like, thank God I have been a teaching assistant at that school in the past, because if I just come to that school in September and started my course, I really wouldn't know my way around everything. So yeah, I have had to do and just work out a lot of things on my own. But people will always be happy. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. Most people will be happy to help you if you just ask. But obviously, this is a course where you have to use your own initiative. You can't always be asking questions, but at the same time, don't be afraid to ask even stupid questions, because the only people who are going to be affected by that if you do something wrong are the children. So it never hurts to ask. Now, I haven't been very good with organisation at all. I'm not even going to lie to you. I remember at the beginning of my PGCE, you can even look back in some of the videos, I was showing you like the planner, my to-do list, and just things around that, even the evidence folder. And I'm not going to lie, I've just fallen off of it. And I am a little bit disappointed in myself, but at the same time, I think, well, it's just kind of normal. You're still coming to terms with everything. It is just the first term, but I'm not gonna lie, I could be a lot more organized. I wouldn't say I've ever been forgetful though at things, even though I haven't written them down in my planner or to-do list. But it would be great just to be more organized, especially with evidence. I had a whole week where I was freaking about evidence, because I was supposed to have a meeting with my link tutor and I had to get everything together. Now, I've left my evidence folder at school so that when I do something such as teach a lesson or, do some evidence, I don't know why that took me so long to think, I can just put it straight into my folder. Also, I am doing an online folder as well, because sometimes if something's typed up or I take a picture of a child's piece of work, there's no point to me taking a picture just to print it out. So only the handwritten things like my mentor's observations of me would go in my hard copy evidence folder. But in other videos when they were saying make sure you just, as soon as you get the evidence, put it in your folder, they are telling the truth, because I was freaking out. And it is one of my New Year's resolutions just to be more organized, because the workload and responsibility is only going to increase more. That being said, for this upcoming term, Spring 1, I believe it's called, Spring 1, most people have finished their placements, and those people are usually just doing the PGCE, so they'll have a number of placements. I haven't actually finished my first placement, so I started this first placement at the beginning of September, and it will finish before February half term. Then after February half term, I'll be going to my second placement up until Easter, and then after Easter I'll be coming back to this placement I am at now. I've had a lot of questions on Instagram just asking me about my second placement, so just to let you know, I won't be on my second placement until after February half term. I think that may be the case with other SCITT trainees or school direct trainees. Comment in the comment section below if that's similar to you. But if you've made it to this point of the video, actually, please comment below how your first placement went. I've been looking through all of your posts on Instagram, and it looks like everyone's been doing great. There's certainly been so many highlights during the beginning, or throughout my first placement. There's been a few amazing lessons I've planned, particularly when we were looking at the layers of the earth. I'll try to insert some pictures. That was just a phenomenal lesson, because I didn't have an additional adult in the class, and whenever you're doing a science experiment, the class can just be chaos because the kids are overexcited. But I didn't have an additional adult. It was a messy lesson because we were we had to sculpt clay, to look like the earth, and we didn't have enough clay, so instead of them doing one each, I got them to do it in tables and work together. I was really proud of that lesson, and my mentor said the same. She said she was just amazed at how well it went. Yeah, that was definitely a lesson that stood out for me, and the kids were so proud of themselves, and the adults that were walking past, they popped their heads in and were like, oh, this looks amazing. So I was really happy with that. That being said, there have been, do you know what, I'd say obviously that there's been more great lessons than bad lessons. There was one bad lesson where I was really ill, so my chest infection was fresh out the oven, and I was having choking fits like every 30 seconds, and I was being observed during a maths lesson. Also, we have a school dog. I'm scared to death of dogs, so I was up there being observed during this maths observation, choking to death, but getting by. And then the school dog comes into the classroom, and obviously I freak out because I can't stand dogs. And it wasn't great just being observed, and it was just extra pressure, so I had to ask for the dog to be removed. But that just goes to show you never know what's going to happen during an observation. Just because it's an observation and you have something planned which you think is going to be great doesn't mean it's going to actually be great. So luckily my class teacher, who has absolutely been amazing during this first time, he's basically been like my mentor, because obviously my class teacher isn't my mentor. My class teacher is the assistant head, and she's barely like in the classroom. So he's been absolutely great, and he was like, do you know what, that wasn't fair, like the teacher bringing a dog in knowing that you're scared of dogs as well, plus you're ill and you were being observed. So he let me be observed again the next day, and that definitely wasn't a great lesson, because I could barely get 2 words out before choking to death. And I think when the kids can tell you're just not physically in the mood, it kind of rubs off on them, and everyone was just being a bit grouchy that day. It wasn't really nice, but you never really know how much the kids appreciate you until it's like the end of term or end of the year, and they bring you in so many Christmas gifts. Like, what the, oh my gosh, like you may have seen in my last few days of being a teaching assistant video, but these children and parents can be so generous. I think they've finally realized how hard teaching staff work, because I can definitely say it wasn't this way before the pandemic. Loads of parents just used to think we're just there to play with their children, which is not the case at all. But they're just really generous. I got some really lovely gifts, as I'm sure all of you did as well, and cards, and it's just so nice to see how much you're appreciated. Obviously this is our job, we're never expected to gain like gifts and stuff from it, but when we do and we see a card written by a child saying thank you so much for teaching us, or you're the best teacher ever, it definitely makes everything worth it. Going back to what I said about parents, this definitely just goes back to like microaggressions, unconscious bias, and plain and simply racism. There's been a few parents who, listen, I live in like East London, which is a very diverse area, but sometimes when I've come out, especially in the beginning, when I've come out with the children at the end of the day, because I've been covering my class teacher, they're like, oh, who are you? And it's that exact tone, who are you? And it's like, I'm your child's class teacher. Yeah, and they're like, oh really? Oh, you're the teaching assistant? It's like, no, I am your child's class teacher. And it is sometimes hurtful how they don't think that, a black young girl can be a class teacher. Obviously there's not many of us in the profession, and I wonder why. It's because of the treatment, it's definitely those middle class parents who, I'm not even going to go into that because I'm not going to let that tarnish my journey. But overall, It has been a very eventful first term doing my PGCE. There's definitely been more highlights than terrible things happening. That being the lovely, amazing friends I've met on my course, and everyone on the course. They're just lovely and incredible. So helpful. The progress I've made has been incredible. I've gained so much more confidence, and this really is a job for life. Even though you may choose to do something different in a few years, these skills you can take anywhere. Every lesson shapes a life, as that UCAS advert says. Is it UCAS? I can't remember. I love those adverts. Click like if you love those adverts too. Some of the bad moments being how ill I've been. I feel like that's kind of made this first term a blur, just because I've been ill and I haven't really had the chance to feel great about things going on. So really, please do take care of yourself. And especially the prospect of the Rona coming back. We all know what's going on. If you look at the date of this video, you'll know exactly what's happening and what they're saying may happen in January. Now, I was working in school when the first few lockdowns happened as a teaching assistant, and just the amount of stress it puts on teachers and children, it is just terrible. And I really didn't want to do my training year during an event like this again, but it looks like it's about to happen again. Hopefully just for a few weeks though, 1 or 2 weeks. I am getting my booster jab tomorrow, in fact. So let's just hope that things do not turn for the worse. But overall, I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. Follow me on Instagram at miss.coolbeans. And let's get some rest. I am actually going to edit this video and then take a massive nap. But anyway, see you soon.